Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the AST Annual Town Hall. I'm Dipali Kumar, AST Secretary. Before we get started, we would like to take a moment to remember those that have passed this year. Please join us for a moment of silence in remembering them and their commitment to the field of transplantation. Agnes Azimzadeh. Mark Deerhoy. Diska Dragon. Mark Grebenow. Kent Johnston. Roger Herzig. And now, please welcome Dr. Richard Formica, AST President.
On behalf of the AST Board, I want to welcome AST members and guests to our annual Town Hall meeting. For those of you who have previously attended our Town Hall, it may look different than in previous years. Nevertheless, we will still be highlighting what our association has accomplished over the past year. It is also a chance to celebrate our successes and to provide you an opportunity to share your thoughts regarding the direction of the AST. So I want to start today off with some special member recognition. The AST gives out extraordinary service awards infrequently in recognition of work that goes above and beyond. Today is my honor to recognize two individuals for their extraordinary service to the AST and to the transplant community. Sometimes extraordinary work is done in short, intense time frame in response to grave necessity. The first Extraordinary Service Award is given for that work. Since the COVID-19 pandemic began, all of our members have faced unprecedented challenges. As lockdown approached in early 2020, one of our AST leaders recognized how significant the impact of COVID-19 would be on the transplant community and quickly took action to facilitate the sharing of information internationally and across societies. Despite these stresses of serving as an infectious disease doctor working in a pandemic, Emily Blumberg spearheaded global collaboration and education on the impact of COVID-19 on transplantation, spending countless hours developing 4 town hall webinars for transplant professionals. These international webinars have been viewed by nearly 28,000 individuals and strengthened partnership and communication within transplant organizations across the globe. In addition to this, she has coordinated, spoken, and moderated several additional webinars geared specifically for the transplant community. Even getting to chat with George Lopez and somebody called El Puma along the way. Emily continues to lead our COVID-19 task force and creates and manages our COVID resources for patients and professionals alike, refreshing them as knowledge of the disease and vaccines change. Emily, thank you for your extraordinary service in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm quite frankly not sure how the AST would have gotten through this without you, and I'm delighted to recognize you with this special award today.
Oh my God. Wow. This is both wholly unexpected, really appreciated, and could never have happened without everybody else's support. You know, I mean, I certainly was never in this on my own. So
see,
I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Well, I think we thank you. And I really firmly believe that often people don't make history, but history picks the people that it needs at the time. And I think the fact that you were there to get us through this proves that point. And amazing, truly amazingly done. So thank you from all of us in the AST and the whole community.
Well, I'm like completely speechless. Not a typical thing for me to be. This is just so amazing to be recognized by all of you for all of the COVID efforts. I have to acknowledge this is definitely not something I did on my own. There were so many people who worked so hard to bring all of the activities to fruition, you know, members of the IDCOP, so many people to acknowledge the AST staff. I mean, just incredible efforts. And of course, the support of all of these other societies with whom we partnered. I'm just so grateful to accept this on their behalf as well, and so appreciate the recognition by you, my peers. The AST has been my professional home for many, many years, and I can think of no better way to spend time than working on something like this for the AST. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much again.
I have a second Extraordinary Service Award to present today. This one recognizes another kind of extraordinary work, the kind of work that succeeds through tenacity and perseverance over many years. This award goes to an AST member who has been persistent and tenacious in his advocacy for transplant patients for more than 20 years. Bill Applegate has worked tirelessly on behalf of the AST and transplant patients to pass the Comprehensive Immunosuppressive Drug Coverage for Kidney Transplant Patients Act, otherwise known as the Immunobill. Since 2000, when Congress passed a law leaving out younger kidney recipients from lifetime immunosuppressive coverage through Medicare, Bill has worked to end the arbitrary 36-month coverage limit and to enact lifelong coverage. And as you all know, the Immunobill was successfully passed in January 2021. The AST's contributions to passage of this bill would not have been possible without Bill's ongoing and tireless work as our Director of Government Relations. Bill's work has brought countless opportunities to the AST, giving us a chance to meet directly with legislators. Furthermore, his efforts have resulted in the AST's participation in high-profile events, including the signing of the HOPE Act with President Obama and President Trump's briefing on advancing kidney health. He believes in the Society's mission and always goes above and beyond in his commitment to making positive change for the transplant community. We would not be where we are today without his tireless commitment, knowledge, and passion for his work. His bipartisan and bicameral approach on behalf of the AST has affected change at all levels of the regulatory, legislative, and executive branch policymaking, impacting the field of transplantation. Thank you, Bill, for your extraordinary service and tenacity in advocating for transplant patients over the many years. I'm excited to recognize you with this special award today. And now I'd like to welcome Bill Applegate, unsurprised, I'm sure, to give a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Formica. I really appreciate that. I don't know what to say. I mean, thank you for the award. I mean, the real award was, as you said, January 2021. Actually seeing that bill signed into law in kind of what could arguably be best described as one of the craziest, if not the craziest environment that we've all worked in. But to see that get done is, you know, at the risk of sounding like a cliche, a lifetime achievement. And look forward to moving on and getting the Living Donor Protection Act done. And I would also just add, you know, this was, you know, as a staff tip of the spear, kind of leading some of these initiatives. That's all we were doing was trying strategy. I mean, the patients, yourself, the leadership of AST staff, you know, Shandy Covington, our partner organizations, Congress, and the White House, getting all this done. So I could not be happier and still reeling from that. So thank you very much for this award. It means a tremendous amount. The last 20 years with AST has, again, just been my pleasure and just truly enjoyed being here for you all, and vice versa. Thank you very much. This means a lot, a whole lot.
Well, Bill, I'm going to share an anecdote. So I met you the first time, and I think it was 2012, when the Immunobill did not pass, on the cusp of almost being passed. And since that time, you have worked tirelessly, and as we've all done, you've kept up the good fight. And what I've respected the most is, as it's gotten closer and our partners have become more engaged and more excited, your ability to see the bigger picture and focus on the fact that it's about patients and get this through by any means necessary is a lesson, I think, for us all to learn who are interested in public policy. And so I want to thank you personally for teaching me that.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Rich. I remember actually you and I had a discussion when we were at a retreat hiking in Jackson Hole. I don't know if you remember that. And this was right around that time, and we were literally having the same discussion and talking about how it will come full circle because of the patients, and it did. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Good work. I'd like to now welcome Richard Knight, President of the American Association of Kidney Patients, to make a special presentation to one of our esteemed AST members.
Hello, everyone. My name is Richard Knight, and I'm President of the American Association of Kidney Patients. It is my distinct honor today to present the 2021 Medal of Excellence Award in Transplant Professional category to Dr. Emily Blumberg. Dr. Blumberg is a transplant infectious disease specialist and the director of the Transplant Infectious Disease Program and the Infectious Disease Fellowship at the University of Pennsylvania. She is currently a professor of medicine at the University of Pennsylvania and is a fellow of the American Society of Transplantation, the Infectious Disease Society of America, and the American College of Physicians. Dr. Blumberg's academic interests are focused on infectious disease complications in transplant recipients and candidates. She is especially interested in donor-derived infectious and viral infections, including HIV, HCV, CMV, and now COVID-19. She has coordinated the COVID-19 activities of the AST and has become one of the leaders of the Multi-Society Committee for the International COVID Webinar Series. She is former chair of the UNOS Disease Transmission and Advisory Committee and former member of the UNOS MPSC, the HHS Advisory Committee on Blood and Tissue Safety and Availability, and of the Gift of Life Philadelphia Medical Advisory Board. She is the past chair of the Infectious Disease Society of America Training Program Directors Committee and the IDSA Medical Scholars Program. When asked what patients have taught her, Dr. Blumberg responded as follows. Caring for the patient is the most rewarding part of my career as a transplant physician. I am constantly inspired by my patients and feel that it is an incredible privilege to be welcomed into their lives and entrusted with their care. Understanding the unique conditions that define each individual's experience has taught me to be more open-minded and appreciative of the diversity of the human experience. After 30 years in practice, it has been especially thrilling to witness how transplantation has allowed so many individuals to fulfill their dreams and enjoy their time with their family and friends. I am honored to be part of their journey. Dr. Blumberg?
I want to thank Richard Knight and the AAKP for this incredible honor. Working with patients has always been the most important part of my career and the aspect that has really motivated me to continually strive to always do my best. So I'm especially grateful to be recognized by this groundbreaking and forward-thinking, patient-driven and focused organization. I think that we all need to recognize how challenging this past year has been for all of us. For those working in transplant, we've had unique challenges as we try to safely continue offering transplantation during the pandemic. For infectious diseases doctors like myself, it's been especially important to look critically at all of our practices on a daily basis as the information we receive continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace. Personally, I've prioritized making sure we both inform not just our medical colleagues, but our patient community, as well as do my best to keep everyone safe during such a frightening time. I've appreciated the opportunity that I've had to work with AAKP to provide current information to the community, as I know that sharing of accurate and up-to-date information is an important part of the AAKP mission. Like everything in transplantation, the work that I've done would not have been possible without the support of incredible colleagues at Penn Transplant Institute and in the Penn Infectious Diseases Division, as well as my colleagues and the staff at the American Society of Transplantation. We've definitely worked as a team to meet the challenges of the pandemic. I'm also very lucky to have the support of my family, my husband John and daughters Alyssa and Gabrielle and son-in-law James. Many thanks again to Richard Knight and the rest of the AAKP board and staff for this most meaningful award. I look forward to continued collaborations in the future. Hopefully that is one that is soon COVID-free.
I want to acknowledge all of our sponsors. Your support is essential in helping us provide the variety and quality of services and events we offer our members throughout the year. Here is a brief look at our sponsors in 2020. I would like to take a minute for a special call out for those partners who are supporting all of the AST activities during this year's virtual ATC. Now I would like to introduce Dr. Emily Blumberg for a special presentation on the AST's first virtual fitness challenge.
Thanks, Rich. In partnership with Veloxis, the AST launched its first virtual run and fitness challenge. The challenge started at SIAT on February 25th and completed on May 21st. 295 participants logged an impressive 41,105 miles and raised $25,000, which will go towards the AST's research efforts. The top individual fundraiser is Bo Kelly, raising $1,650. The individual who completed the most mileage is Erin Rubin, who completed 1,538 miles. The top achievers for team are Limber Up Lycop as the top team fundraiser, who raised $5,076, and Bazafleximab, the Transplant Farm COP, who completed the most team miles, logging a total of 10,226 miles. Finally, every participant who met both their fundraising and fitness goals was entered into a random drawing to win an additional prize. And the person selected is Gloria Chen. Congratulations to all of our participants. Next, we will turn to our traditional member recognition. To start, I want to personally congratulate the newest members inducted to the Fellow of AST or FAST program. This program was instituted to recognize leaders of the AST who have demonstrated both an exceptional commitment to the field of transplantation as well as consistent service to the AST. The designation is honorary and open to all members in good standing. We congratulate Sridhar Alam, Marwan Azar, Francesca Cardarelli, Mary Chandran, Wisit Chung Pasitporn, Nadiezda Costa, Rosemary Cross, Deepika Devuni, Mary Jane Farr, James Fleming, Daniel Ganger, Borj Haraldson, Kristen Kuntz, Carly Lair, Krista Lentine, Thomas McCune, Jennifer Melaragno, Prince Mohan, Larissa Mysakovsky, Marcus Pereira, Anjana Pillai, Sean Penny, Henry Randall, Sami Riyad, Michael Seifert, Fernanda Silvera, Joseph Stellick, Sarah Tamer, Aklifu Yishak, and Tirdad Zaganeh. Congratulations to all. And now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Dipali Kumar, AST Secretary, to start off our society updates.
Thanks, Emily. This year, we've had some exciting changes in the area of membership. We introduced a new non-medical doctoral category. This category was created for those who hold PhDs, PharmDs, Doctor of Psychology, DNP, and other doctoral level degrees without an accompanying medical degree. Creation of this new membership category with more affordable dues will make consistent long-term membership in the AST more attainable for our members and will support further growth in the diversity of transplant disciplines represented under the AST's umbrella and will ultimately strengthen our voice in the transplant community. We also introduced additional awards this year, which are more focused on recognizing excellence in clinical or administrative roles, as well as recognizing work advancing equity in organ transplantation. These new awards complement our existing research-focused awards. Our commitment to engaging all roles in transplant has led to continued membership growth. The AST currently has over 3,900 members, an increase of over 1,000 members from where we stood only 10 years ago. At this point in the year, we have an 83% renewal rate and have had 330 new members join, 70 in our new membership category. We anticipate ending the year with over 4,200 members. And now I'll turn it over to Dr. Josh Levitsky, AST Treasurer, to reward some of you who have helped to recruit our new members.
The AST Member Services team put together the Member Get a Member program to recognize members who pay it forward and help recruit new members to the AST. This year-long program gives you the opportunity to win one of 3 great prizes. For each person you successfully refer to join AST, your name is entered to win. This year, we had 84 members recruit a total of 95 new members. One member successfully recruited 3 new members, earning a free year of membership through her successful promotion of AST. Thank you and congratulations to Shelley Hall for her successful recruiting. Now for the random drawing. The 3rd place prize is 250 AST bucks. AST bucks can be used towards membership, dues, or AST meeting registration. The winner is Anne-Marie Leopakis. The prize for 2nd place is 500 AST bucks. The winner is Kwame Asari. Now for the 1st place prize, a new iPad and free membership for the next year. The winner of 1st place is Brenda Muth. Congratulations to our winners. You will receive an email this week with details about your prizes. Despite 2020 being a tumultuous year with many uncertainties, the AST emerged strong and more committed than ever to providing quality services that benefit our members. As you can see here, membership dues have remained steady, but are still a relatively small percentage of the total income we need to provide the various services you've come to expect. We rely on additional sources of income, including corporate support, donations, events, and the endowment. With a $4+ million operating budget, we allocate over 75% of staff resources to providing your membership services, including meetings and educational programs. Additionally, the AST has committed to funding $300,000 in research grants annually from the AST endowment to validate our support to the research community. Investing in our members is our greatest priority. That being said, how can you help the AST? Continue donating. We had $81,000 in donations last year and hope to top that this year. You can support the AST mission by donating to the program of your choice. Additionally, AST participates in the Amazon Smile program. By selecting the AST as your preferred charity on Amazon, a percentage of your purchases are donated back to the AST. Thank you for your continued support of the AST. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. John Gill, AST President-elect.
Thank you, Josh. After nearly 20 years of work, the Immuno Bill was approved in December 2020. AST's grassroots efforts certainly made a huge impact. We harnessed the voice of the transplant community to raise awareness and put faces and stories to the need for this bill. The work is ongoing to determine what implementation of the bill will look like, and we will start to turn our attention towards expanding similar coverage for other organ transplant recipients. Additionally, we've continued support for the Living Donor Protection Act, which was reintroduced this year. We've been working to ensure inclusivity of the language in the bill in partnership with other professional organizations and the AAKP. We are optimistic that this bill will move forward this year, offering much needed protections for living donors. The Public Policy Committee also completed a refresh of our key position statements, which are posted on the website. Looking towards regulatory highlights and progress, the Society responded to the OPTN's request for public comment. The Transplant Therapeutics Consortium continued to advance, and membership remains healthy and active. The AST responded to the call for comment on improvement in OPO metrics. In terms of legislative highlights and future plans, as we move to the future, we will continue interfacing with congressional representatives as we provide insight and expertise from the perspective of the transplant community. As the go-to organization for elected and regulatory officials, our voice matters. We will continue to focus on COVID-19 PPE and resources, the need for more NIH funding, Immuno Bill support, and the RFI on racial bias in tools for organ transplantation. In a post-pandemic approach to advocacy, we look forward to hosting future virtual fly-ins with congressional officials and to continue to speak on these important issues. The Living Donor Circle of Excellence, or the Circle, was established in October 2020 to celebrate employers who support the lost wages of living donors. The Circle is a no-cost program for employers who have implemented a living donation leave policy. The program was founded in partnership with United Health Group and now has more than 40 members, and I'm proud to say covers over 1 million employed persons across diverse industries. More information on this program can be found at myast.org/COE. In terms of resources, this year our educational resources have expanded to consider areas in both emergent science, but we've also addressed diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are proud to have hosted several webinars on addressing racism and inequality, as well as continued development of educational materials in Spanish language. Before moving to the final recognition portion of this event, I'd like to encourage you to reach out with any questions and comments that you may have. Questions and comments can be submitted below through our AST social media channels or through emailing info@myast.org. And now I'll turn things back over to Rich Formica, AST President.
Next, we'd like to thank our leaders and staff for their commitment and dedication to the success of the AST. Much of what we do would not be possible without their help. I now want to recognize our outgoing committee chairs. We thank you for your dedication and leadership throughout the year. Anil Chandrakar, Jeffrey Crippen, Rowena De Los Santos, Mandy Ford, Ronald Gill, Michael Green, William Kitchens, John Kobashigawa, Sherry Crams, Megan Levings, Jamie Locke, and Christopher Marsh. I also want to recognize our outgoing community of practice chairs. We thank you for your dedication and leadership throughout the year. Linda Sandalis, Deepika Duvani, Brenda Muth, Bruce Kaplan, Giuseppe Orlando, Deirdre Sawinski, David Tabor, and Korkut Uygoin. And finally, it was a great pleasure that I introduce our outgoing and incoming chairs for this great event. Thank you, Meryl Johnson, for your work as chair of the American Transplant Congress. And welcome, Jesse Schold, as our incoming chair. Thank you for your leadership, dedication, and commitment in making the ATC a premier event for the transplant community. And finally, it is with mixed emotions that I want to thank our outgoing board members. It has been an honor to serve with them. The commitment they have shown to the AST and the transplant community cannot be overstated. They are Emily Blumberg, our outgoing AST past president, who will assume the role of public policy chair, Dipali Kumar, our outgoing secretary, Howie Gable, Jonathan Maltzman, and Lisa Potter. Thank you all. And now it's time to announce the 2021 election results. I'm excited to report that we had more voters than ever this year. 1,241 AST members participating in the election. Proposed bylaw revisions were approved by an overwhelming majority of voters. These revisions established a standing diversity, equity, and inclusion committee in support of the actions the AST committed to in its statement on racism. They also make foundational language changes in the non-discrimination language in our bylaws as recommended by the Society's Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Access to Life, or what we call the IDEAL Task Force, as part of their systematic review of the Society's foundational documents. And now the results of the election. Our incoming councilors at large are Dr. Mandy Ford, Dr. Vanita Kumar, and Dr. Marie Chisholm Burns. I am pleased to introduce your next secretary, Dr. John Kobashigawa. And I'm very excited to introduce your next AST president-elect, Dr. Dipali Kumar. Let me be the first to congratulate you. And finally, I'm pleased to introduce your next AST president, Dr. John Gill. Congratulations, John.
Thank you, Rich. Rich, on behalf of the entire board and the entire AST community, I want to thank you for your tremendous contributions and outstanding support during this past year. You did an amazing job as AST's first entirely virtual president. It was a challenging environment to lead in, but your positivity and energy kept us moving forward throughout a very challenging year. Thank you, Rich. So, my first act as AST president is to officially close this town hall. I want to thank you all for your attendance and support during this past year. Have a great evening.